Welcome to Positive Nation, where we celebrate stories of kindness, inspiration, passion, and positivity. In this episode, we're thrilled to feature Professor Victor Shinzato, a world-renowned Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete and mentor.
Big dreams in my pocket, hustle hard every day. They said I wouldn't make it, but I'm here to stay. From shadows to stardom, I'm breaking these chains.
With countless hours of training, Victor has earned prestigious titles, including Pan, World, and European medalist, and South American champion. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and equipped with powerful lessons.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Positive Nation podcast where we celebrate stories of inspiration, kindness, passion, and positivity. For today's guest, we have Professor Victor Shinzato, a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete, world pan-European and South American champion. He lives by the motto, "We fight for happiness." He is born and raised in Brazil and now a professor in California. So let's dive in and be inspired by his story. Hi, Professor.
Hi guys, thank you very much, you guys from Positive Nation having me here. Victor Shinzato, black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, first degree. I have been doing Jiu-Jitsu for almost 18 to 19 years so far, and I'm very excited to share with you guys about our journeys.
So let's go back from the start. What was your childhood dream?
Oh, that's strong.
Yeah, it's a hard question.
I grew up in sports. I have connection to the sports since I remember myself. Pretty young, I was playing soccer at the school and with a team as well. It's such a big thing in my country, right? Brazilians love soccer. And besides that, I was swimming and I was doing karate as well, and a martial art. So after that, I have been changing my sports, always been busy doing stuff besides my school, and then ended up finding jiu-jitsu with my friends from my school. They started doing it, and then since I started doing jiu-jitsu, I fell in love, and I knew I would do it for forever, for the rest of my life, you know. And then with time, that dream started raising into myself, to become, uh, someone who can impact some people's life through jiu-jitsu, and for sure try to build my career as an athlete, try to compete as the biggest tournament in the world. And I grew up some train partners, my professor, my sensei, being a good athlete, traveling around the world, and I saw these guys as my heroes, which was amazing because I had such a good example close to me. And yeah, that was my big dream since then. Jiu-Jitsu has impacted my life since I started.
That's great to know. And based from what you're saying, so since childhood, this is really what you want. So you are living the life that you once dreamed of. And you
Uh,
know what?
right.
Professor Victor, right now, our co-host is actually one of your students. We have Zach on the other line, and I know he can properly interview you and get all the details that we need.
What's up, Professor? Good to see you. To all the Positive Nation viewers, good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in to watch the podcast. It's a good podcast today with Professor Victor. It's worth it. When you first discovered jiu-jitsu, what initially drew you to the sport? Because I know, because you told me these stories, I kind of know your timeline. But like, I think when you were getting first into jiu-jitsu, because you can get into your story, but what initially drew you into it? I think you kind of said it was like, go ahead.
Yes, I think there's so many things. First of all, like I mentioned before, I grew up doing sports. So I was a very active kid. And by doing so many sports at the same time, I think made me, build myself. And I have to do something. I cannot just go to the school or go work. I miss something if I don't work on my body and my mind. So before I do jiu-jitsu, right? I was doing karate, like I said, and was something my dad wants to put me on to start to learn how to defend myself. And also, Brazil is not that bad, but it's kind of dangerous, and it's always good to know at least the basic to defend herself. And I also have my older sister. That's why my dad put me in karate when I was 6 years old. So I was training for a few years, and then I quit karate for a little because I was so busy doing sports, and I had a team. I was playing hockey at the same time, and I have a team, and I was swimming, I was playing soccer and competing all over the country. And then a few, months later, my dad came back to me and say, "Hey, kid, you gotta pick up some martial art again. I want you to learn, and keep on the path to be able to learn how to defend yourself." And I was like, okay, but I didn't know exactly what to do. And on that time, to be honest, I didn't know what jiu-jitsu is. I never hear about jiu-jitsu before. And then a friend from my school, a good friend of mine, which is still my good friend for nowadays, he came out to me and said, "Hey, bro, I'm doing, jiu-jitsu." And I said, "What is that?" "Oh, it's something really cool. We grapple, we go on the ground, we throw people down." And I was like, "Oh, maybe that's what my dad wants me to do, right?" And my first class, I already fall in love. I have, I think, not only by the techniques itself, the movement itself, but because the environment, the master who was teaching the class, the students, the discipline these guys have on the mats. I felt like the mats
Yeah.
was really sacred,
The,
something really sacred place for me. And it's something is very spiritual thing, especially on the time, think back to 1998. So we are very martial art thing. I can see jiu-jitsu growing more like a sport now, but at that time for sure was pretty much martial artists. So
yeah.
then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and but I think what keeps me training jiu-jitsu was, like I mentioned, the environment, the techniques, and everything around the universe we call jiu-jitsu.
So like at the time, I can imagine when you were going in, you see at 1996 or was 1996, right? And
I mean,
you 98, you go in and it's like, yeah, there's all these dudes that are massive. They're like 6'1". They're, black belt on the mat. And then you just see them. They have a lot of respect, but they're really good, right? So I guess that impacted you for sure.
Oh,
I
that's
get
for
that.
sure. Like I said, was more the environment than everything else. When I saw these guys, the way they respect each other, the way they respect the place we were training, the way they respect our master, everything there was making me so connected with, because man, it blew my eyes. I was like, wow. And at the same time, they respect each other. They are so gentle to each other. They are so kind to each other. But when it's on, they were training hard. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was, a dream coming true right there.
So aside from jujitsu, like when did you discover surfing? And you're
Surfing was something really cool because I grew up in not by the coast in Brazil. I came from São Paulo, right? We have the coast in São Paulo, which is pretty amazing. But my grandpa has a house there. And since, I came out to this world, I was going to the place. My grandpa already had the house before I came. So I grew up going on my holidays, on summer holidays, going to the beach. And my parents having so many friends over there. And one of them is a big surfer, one of the first surfers from the city. And this guy was very close to my family. And I remember every single time we were going together, going out together, I saw him as a kind of idol, with such a good example. The long hair, the tattoos, the lifestyle he has, living more chill, shorts, flip flops, something like already connect to me because I was, like I said, I going to the beach so many often. And I saw this guy like, oh, this guy is a real deal, right? And I always had this seed on my mind because of this guy. His name is Mauro. Mauro, such a nice guy. I still talk to him nowadays. He's still my idol. That's such a cool thing. My idols, they are my friends. So this is really nice. And but years later, I ended up start surfing. I already was doing jiu-jitsu, and the Gracie family, where jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu came from, they were original from Rio de Janeiro, and they were surfers as well. So this connection between surf and jiu-jitsu always was there, from the Gracies. And so I was, about 18 to 20 years old. I was doing jiu-jitsu, and I was always want to try to surf. I had this, thing from my from Mauro, from the good friend of my parents, and this connection in between jiu-jitsu, right? So going to the beach very often and having all these connections together make me one day start going learn how to surf. And I have my cousin, our old cousin, who used to surf as well, and he taught me how to surf. So we were in a kind of hard days because of relationship girls, and then me and him, and then we find out together, hey, we gotta do something to build up us, to not let us down. So let's get back to surf, my cousin said, and you learn how to surf now. And then we finally start doing it.
Did you learn quick? Was it fun?
Oh yes, I learned a little quick, really, really quick how to surf. You know what? That's something really funny because I remember 2, 3 years before I really start surfing, I remember so many people were asking me, "Hey, do you surf?" Because I'm not from the coast,
Yeah.
but the way I live the life, the way I wear myself, people was asking me, and actually that made me very happy. Even though I wasn't surfing on that time, I was like,
Everyone
"That's
thinks
they already think I'm surfer, so I
totally.
have already something in myself." So yes, when I started learning how to surf, I got it kind of quick because I think because of I really want to. That's the first and most important. And second, because the jiu-jitsu background, I have my strength, my skills, my balance. So on that time, I was doing jiu-jitsu for a little while already, almost 10 years, 7, 8 years. So I got a good, body awareness, which helps me a lot. And because I was going to the beach very often since I was kid, I know a little bit how to, because you have to read, you have to see and read the ocean, right? The
The
wave.
waves, yeah.
Yeah. So because I think my background for going to the beach for so long, I knew already about the current, about the breaks. But for sure, with time surfing, I start learning way more. Yeah.
Totally. Anyway,
All right. So that's really cool. I mean, you're very outgoing. I think that's the word for you. And I'm just wondering, when do you move to USA? So from Brazil to USA.
That's a nice history. Is another connection between surf and jiu-jitsu, right? Uh, I came to U.S. country for the very first time in 2015. I was a purple belt at the time. I came to compete the World Masters tournament in Las Vegas, and since then I was coming every single year to compete the biggest tournament in the world. World's Championship, Pan American Championship, and no Gi Worlds too. So I was starting, having this relationship with California. But before I came in 2015, I was, I grew up surfing too. So I was watching so many videos, documentaries about surfing in California. And I was so excited, to come out here, to visit, to see, have the opportunity to surf. And since my first time when I came to compete, I took a few days off after the competition to go surf as well, to check out the waves, right? So since then, my very first time here, I already have this thing on my mind, to maybe come to US, to California only. That's the only place I would like to stay in US. to live the lifestyle, because in Brazil it's kind of hard to live through jiu-jitsu in a small city. If you go to the coast, the money comes from the tourism, right? There is no people going there to train jiu-jitsu that much. You gotta go for the big cities like São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, or So I moved to USA in 2021 after the pandemic, the COVID, right? Yeah, I was already playing, like I said, since I came here 2015. I started to have the relationship with California. I started liking the way people live here, kind of chill with the sports. I can see, there's so many sports going on here: mountain biking, snowboarding, surf, skating, and jiu-jitsu is something really big out here. And so, yes, I kind of connect, the two things I love in life, which is surf and jiu-jitsu, in a very nice place. So I could do jiu-jitsu for and surf for a living as well, right? To be healthy, my mind.
All right, thank you so much. So I can see that from your childhood. So you like a lot of, you start from karate and then jujitsu, and now you love surfing. And then I am sure you are like discovering more sports right now. But can you tell us what is your ultimate dream? I mean, right now, what is your ultimate?
Whoa, we have so many dreams, right? But I think my ultimate dream will be to have my own place, my own jiu-jitsu school, right? To help the community, to support the people. I think at the end, we talk about being athlete, right? Competing, all this stuff, but what jiu-jitsu gave me the best in life was, building myself as a person, as a man, as a real one, being like a martial artist, have, so many good lessons on the mat to bring to my life. So I saw jiu-jitsu, how much jiu-jitsu impacted my life. And I want to give the opportunity for people to, for somebody else. And I would love to have that, that place to support people through jiu-jitsu.
So that's your ultimate dream. And I am sure from point of view of your students, Zach, how can you like describe Professor Victor as a professor?
Unironically, like no joke, I think Professor Victor is one of the top 3 most authentic guys I know, and probably top 3 nicest. Yeah, top 3 nicest, definitely. Dude, super authentic, super nice, like helpful, kind, passionate. Like, I mean, I don't know. I trust him a lot, but because he's a good leader, I don't know how else to put it. The number one thing you want to do as a leader is to make sure that everyone has trust in you. And you do that by building rapport, being kind, like, but more than that, like, I can just tell he's a good person. He has good morals. But I don't know. I'm just glad that, I don't know, he's on our side with his jujitsu.
Yeah, I understand. So yeah, that's a very good thing and very like connected to your ultimate dream to have your own place for jujitsu to help the community, very role model.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Zach, for the kind words. Appreciate you guys.
But I mean, nah, totally like, I think more than own journey in jiu-jitsu, like without realizing it, you have impacted a lot of people to start, and then like you don't realize so many kids like, or I mean you do realize, I don't know, but a lot of kids look up to you, like the little kids. And I think sometimes you get like shocked, I think a couple times some kids bring you like a painting I've seen. It's crazy, and you realize like, wow, I'm a big part in some of these people's lives, which is true. But I mean, more than anything, sometimes I'm thinking like, what would Professor do? Or, like, what I do now I'm doing jiu-jitsu because it changes you. But thank you.
Thank you.
He's a good person, good teacher. And I would say that in general, like the assumption that we're coming to is like sports is beneficial, especially for the body, the spirit, the mind, right? But if you have a good mentor as well, these three things so crucial, right? Totally. So I mean, that kind of makes me think more like you think jujitsu is something like everyone should do, right? Is jujitsu for everyone? You know,
Mm, sure.
totally.
It's a
So
strong tool, right? To self-development. That's what it is at the end, you know. We start most of people start doing jiu-jitsu because of the, to learn how to defend yourself, right? In general, 90% start doing because of that. Our kids does for the bullying, oh, no, anti-bullying in school. But as you start doing jiu-jitsu and you start to see yourself, what happened is at the end you start dealing with your feelings, if you lost, you feel sad, but you have to deal with that because you gotta tomorrow do over again. The guy who beat you up today is gonna be there tomorrow, ready to go again. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna give up, or you're gonna give yourself another try, another chance. And sometimes you feel excited because you beat someone up, but then the next day they come to you and give you a hard times, and then you start seeing people like vulnerable. We all are vulnerable at the end, even though there is a champions over here, champions right there, but they are the one who lost as well. And you can see this. But like I said, you have to. I think jiu-jitsu is more spiritual for me, Nowadays, I can tell you for sure. It's something like I go there and I can see kind of people when they wearing the gi, how they are, how they truly are. You cannot hide yourself when you put the gi on and you are in a hard times. Someone is in your back, try to choke you out. You cannot hide yourself. If you go too much aggressive, if
because no, because I get it too. Like sometimes that's when the ego. If you have an ego show,
yeah,
if you're sad, if you're a sad person, that's when the sad come show.
yeah, yeah, right.
If you're
We
like
all
weak,
have ego,
maybe.
and I think ego is something important for us to have, but the most important is deal with your ego, know how to treat yourself, give yourself a time to understand your ego, because we all want to win at the end, once we shake our hands and go, we want to win, but that's not how life is. You're not going to win every time, right? So most of the time you're going to lose. So jiu-jitsu is going to give you that lesson, I sometimes, Zach, you were in the mat with us, so you might hear that from me. I always have to mention our kids, especially for the kids, because they're the hard ones to deal with the ego. They are, young. They doesn't have the experience enough now to talk about the ego, but I have been mentioned telling them, I say, look, you are here to learn how to lose, how to lose. How to win is easy. You get happy, everybody clap hands to you, parents, dad, mom, oh, good job, kid, But what are you gonna do when no one is clapping your hands to you? When no one is looking up to you and giving you, oh, congratulations. You are there into the dark with yourself, feeling hard, hard times, having a hard feelings on you, and then you have to give yourself a nice and deep breath and start to look up to see how you're gonna become a better version of yourself,
Yeah, that makes. I mean, that kind of goes into the next question. Like the athletes, like a lot of jiu-jitsu athletes or just any athletes in general, what challenges do they have to overcome? Jiu-jitsu athletes do they have to overcome?
And that's a hard question,
Or like what challenges did you have to overcome in your journey particularly?
Yeah, I think athletes in general, doesn't matter what you do, you are a very selfish guy, You want to be the champion, is the only one, So you always think about yourself, your priorities, It's kind of hard to have a social life at the same time be a high level athlete, right? Doesn't matter what you do. So I think the hardest for the athlete is the discipline, it's hard to have the discipline to keep you on the path to be able to achieve your goals, right? It's very easy to get distracted with your friends, with the community, with society, with your family. So, yeah, I think the hardest part is the discipline, not only because everybody know what you have to do. The difference, the one who really does. It's hard to do what you have to do every day. Excuse and just go out there and do it over
Yeah.
again. This is something really hard. Doesn't matter you're gonna do. If you have to do,
Is
always worry about your performance to get perform well, get better, faster, tighter, stronger, whatever you do, smarter. So that's a lot of work. But again, I think the hardest thing is the discipline to do what you have to do.
is like when you're learning martial arts, is like over and over you go somebody and you're gonna get beat, and then you win one time, but then you get beat. So it's like you have to learn to lose, right? But then you also learn there's so many lessons you learn on the mat, but there some things you don't, know you're doing until you really figure it out at the end. How do you get ready for a competition, like mentally, physically? What's your preparation like weeks out? Like maybe a week out?
Yes. I think the best preparation for yourself is training. As much you train, you start to trust in yourself. You believe in yourself. You trust in the process, you're gonna believe in yourself. You did whatever you could to get yourself well prepared for that competition, right? That tournament. So I like to do a week before, when the work has done already. The week before, you're not gonna learn much more, and you don't want to expose yourself for the combat sports like we do in jiu-jitsu. So I always try to calm myself down more. I keep moving myself. I like to do jiu-jitsu still, sweating, putting the gi on. But on a very day before or 2 days before, I always like to go to the nature, somehow connect myself, maybe go to the park, climb some hill, go for a hiking, or go to the beach, hit the beach, and stay there by myself on my bare foot. I feel like nature also have the answer. I think I want to connect myself to help on my mind, to get myself spiritual and mind prepared. The body, I have been work on my techniques, my workout, but on the highest level, what's gonna change is your mind, your mindset, how you're gonna approach and how you're gonna face your challenge. So that's how I do. I always like to connect myself to the nature to find a peace of mind and find, the answers I'm asking for and start to be more clear with my mind. Yeah.
That's so good. Like I never really understood how mental it was until like now. Now I'm still learning. There's still a lot of things I need to learn. I'm not that good at jiu-jitsu, but like I mean, uh like the mental game of it is incredible. You know, going in there trying to win or trying not to lose is two completely different things, right? And
Yeah.
your confidence, how you see the person, like a lot of people say like in wrestling is completely different, but like I hear a lot like up until you get to like a high level is whoever is the most mean, like whoever's more angry, because you just push them, get really angry, get aggressive. But once you get to a high level, everyone is aggressive and strong. At that point, is about the tiny little techniques. Is about did you put your foot in the right spot? Did you do this? And is about the mental. More than anything is the mental. And I think you're 100% right. And it is true. I think nature can have his answer as well when you take time before. It's interesting. I like that because it gives you time to relax,
Yeah.
and think about your mental before your game, your plan, everything. Right.
Yeah, you've been doing your camp, for competition. You set your goals for the year, for the season, and you say, okay, in 6 months, I'm gonna do that tournament, world, let's say. And then you start working hard for that, but you have like 3 months kind of hard preparation, we call a camp, right? And when you are doing your camp, you are waking up and sleeping every night, every day, think about that, tournament, which is very stressful. So, like I said, it's always good to somehow find something to help you to be more calm and cool, relax, and like I mentioned, you are in the nature. You can see the peace right there. When you are by yourself and you just listen to noise, stay connected, have a nice and deep breath, try to clean up your mind, start thinking about jiu-jitsu techniques, competition, fights, opponents. You just think about life, yourself, what you want to do, how you're going to be. I think is always help a lot. Like you said, in wrestling, in jiu-jitsu the same. Once it's a combat sport, you have to be aggressive. You have to be hungry. That's how we used to say. You have to be hungry. You want to. It's not at the end. It's not the best out there who is gonna win. It's not the one who has more better techniques. It's the one who really wants to do it. That guy is gonna find his way to be a champion. We have a quote in jiu-jitsu. They say, the champion will always find a way, and it does. You can see so many tournaments. Sometimes I was on my best performance, training super hard, and I came out here, my mind wasn't ready, and I ended up lost in my very first round. And I was on my prime. I was like shocked. I say, how? So with that experience by competing on my best and not in my best as well, because I had the other way experience too. When I wasn't that well prepared, I was training, doing my stuff, right? But my mind was ready to go, and I ended up winning. And then I clicked that on my mind. It was okay. That's something connected between your body, your spirit, and your mind. That's the triangle, right? I spoke with Zach already about it. I do spoke with my close students about the triangle. We are all connected. That's have to be aligned with our values. It's not only our business. Okay, I love jiu-jitsu, I want to be the world champion, but if that's not enough, that's not gonna really make you the champion. At the end you want to be the champion in life, so you have to be aligned with your values, your goals, and everything, make the dream come true.
Very well said.
As a professor in California, right? What's the most rewarding part of mentoring others and teaching? And how has teaching influenced your growth, like benefited yourself?
Oh man, to be honest, teaching has changed my life. I think, like I said, when you are a athlete, you are very selfish. When you are teaching, it's the opposite way. You not think about yourself. You are think about the others only. That's what matters for you. So, if I have 4 or 5, whatever, how many hours I put on the mats every day to teach people, I never think about myself. I always think about somebody else, and I try to help them. And I think I can, it's still that feeling as athlete is still on me. I really love to do that. I really love to have competitions to push myself, to work harder, so I have a goal to wake up tomorrow and, oh, let's do it. I want to keep my diet. I want to keep my training. I'm going to run. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do this and that to improve something. But teaching has changed my life. Yes. See, somebody else progress. Doesn't matter how old they are. Some do have students at the school from 3 to 80 years old. We have a lady there 60 76 years old. I have a student 74 years old. And seeing these guys putting the gi on, going on the mats and start to learning something on that age inspired me so much. and then make me, give my best, doing my best to help them and see them improve. Like I said, not only on the mats, because
Make you
they
so happy, I bet.
yeah, they start to have the lessons from the mats to the life, every single time when you go to the mats and you have to bow, right, to get on the mats or off, you are saying excuse me, right, you're saying thank you, you are saying something, you're acting, you are saying something with your body. So doing that with time, you start to be more, more kind to people. Like I said, sometimes you look to someone, okay, this guy is a little bit old, he doesn't seem like a tough guy, but then you go turn him, the guy choke you out. And guess what? You're gonna respect this guy. And you start learn how to respect everybody, because we are people, we are human beings, we all have our weakness, we all have our strength, but we are the same. At the end, we are the same. Doesn't matter how you look, how big you are, how heavy you are, what color you are, how much money you have in your bank account. Does not matter. We are people, and then we learn how to respect each other. Beauty in life. It's so great to see. Everybody is doing it. From the 3 years old to the 80 years old, getting better and being a better version of themselves. That's yeah, teaching has changed my life forever.
Interesting.
This video is sponsored by Zengit, reaching over 1.5 million innovators. If you want to search something, you Google it. But if you want to get a project done, use Zengit. At Zengit, we're not just showcasing innovations. We're creating a platform where the brightest minds in STEM make their voices heard. Join us and be part of a growing community where innovation thrives and ideas take flight. Follow Zengit today.
So we are talking about winning, training, mindset, and everything. So right now you achieve so much, like really so much. So you have the worldwide, European, and South. You are the South American champion. Can you share with us the best competition? I mean, the best journey of your championship.
Okay, the best. It's hard to say the best competition, right? I have a few competitions that is in my heart. I think it's not because the way I perform out there, but I again, how my mind was, how my spirit was for the competition. So for the South American back to 2017, when I got gold medal there, I was competing that tournament for I think 4 or 5 years in a row, and I always lost in the semifinals. I got third place 4 years in a row, and I was well prepared so many times, and make me kind of a little frustrated. I say, oh, I was close this time again, and ended up losing on semifinals again, and on the time 2017, I ended up winning that title was something really special for me because I was, overcoming that. I was trying, and that tournament is used to happen in São Paulo, where I came from. So my team was there, my was there, so everybody was there cheering for me, and I got so many times almost there. So they ended up winning. I think I was so strong mentally, not only my skills. I was so strong. I was looked behind me and I saw all my team with myself and my master coaching me every single match. So I was so well prepared. It's gonna be super hard to this out from me. So this was something really special, and I get a good result there. Not only winning the tournament, but nobody scored points on me on that time on that the day. So it was something really
Like
cool.
zero?
0 points, no points. Yes, and I have 4 matches over out there, so it was pretty cool. But I have so great times, on my world championship when I got second place. I have 6 matches. Was something for me on that time. To be honest with you guys, I I would trust on myself that much, you know, in a way to be like silver medalist on world's championship.
You,
I knew
you,
I
did you
was
think you were gonna be able to do it?
no, I knew I was training hard. I was well prepared, but you can control you can control people other else, right?
Yeah.
I only control myself. So I knew how I was it. But I was like, okay, I was I was feeling good too on the day. I did whatever I could to get there on my best, on my best. And I think nobody was trust on me. And that gave me a little bit extra energy, to be out there and say, I gonna show these guys, I'm coming strong. So it was another good day, special World Championship, was something really cool. I remember after that I was crying as a kid, calling mom, calling my master, everybody, sharing that moment. But it was funny because on the moment I lost in the finals, I was so down. I was like, man, I lost the chance of my life, because every athlete one day wants to be a world champion, that when you really prove to yourself first and to everyone else, you are the best, right? You are the best out there. And when I realized I was in the finals, I was like, man, nobody's gonna get me. I'm here. I don't know when I'm gonna be healthy enough to do it over again. I don't know when I get the opportunity to be, competing at the worlds again. And I'm finally here. So I was too much confident, and I think that's that's how I ended up losing, because I was overconfident. Was another good lesson for me. So that day was very special day for me as well. And another tournament was super special when I went to Tokyo in Japan, and I won the tournament over there, the Asian Championship, and was very very because my last name Shinzato is a
It's a
Japanese name,
Japanese
right?
name, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Japanese.
my family has the Japanese side. My side is a Japanese. So we do not grew up with that culture in my house. Was like the part of the family, but it's a part of my family. My cousins, my uncles, aunts, they're all mixed Japanese and Brazilians. So when I went out there and I was able to go to a Budokan, a very special place, to compete in a martial art in the country of martial arts, right, in Japan, and able to win over there was something really really for me as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, and congratulations. Of course, we want to congratulate you, and we can see how you relieve those moments. And thank you so much for sharing that to us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Yes, it was very, very cool. Uh, it's something like stays in your heart forever. The medals, to be honest, I don't even know where they are. It's in Brazil, into the box. But the experience you have always stays in your heart. So that's the best part for sure.
There's
Yeah,
some
and
times I'll never forget at
yeah,
wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I don't think ever forget. And I'll also always I'm thinking like my kids are gonna do it, but I'm not gonna push them. I'm just gonna put them in it.
Yeah, you got to show the path, right? I
Yeah.
think I have so many good examples in jiu-jitsu, right? So everything I do for my life, I use friends from jiu-jitsu, my teammates, because we have so many people on the mats. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have nurses, we have, people does everything, work in a coffee shop, they do everything. So that's the beauty, you get yourself in the same uniform as everybody else, and you kind of be equal,
Equal.
right? Doesn't matter your your how much money you have, what class you are in
Your
the
status.
society, right? And then you can learn from everyone, you know. You literally for everyone, you know. Everyone has the in life, so they can share with you. So I have so many good guys to tell you the best way to teach your kids or to teach whatever you love, you know, to teach something is by doing it, you know, is not telling them. So, like I said, my heroes when I was kid was my jiu-jitsu friends, was my who surf, you know, my from
Choose they were
academy,
doing it.
all these guys because they were doing it, you know. It's not because they were mentioned. Oh, I want you. I would like to. I saw someone. You know, they were there. They were out there doing.
Yeah.
So, and with time on the mats, I saw more guys like that. You know, the guys who were doing good, they were showing up every day. You know, good day, bad day, they were out there training over and over again. So, like you said, if you want to teach your kid or whatever you love, you want to teach something, try to give your hands, you know, bring them to you and show the path. You know, it's not telling, hey, you should do jujitsu. Like me, I fell in love with jujitsu because my dad wants to me, right? Learn how to defend myself. But until nowadays, I don't know if you realize that, you know, how much jujitsu has impacted my life. I'm pretty sure he does, but not that much. Not the real just we know. But I think the best way, if I have my kids one day, it's just doing, you know, going to the mats, showing them. They will see, you know, once they will see you happy out there, showing a big smile, authentic smile, you know, and getting connect to people. If they get interest on it, they will do it for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I just want to compliment what Prof said before. So thank you so much for not just sharing, the winning like moments and also sharing the loss and also the lesson. Another thing is that you are like very correct on that part that we should definitely consider the environment and what people we surround ourselves because at the end of the day they do really impact us on some way and that made you love jujitsu, love surfing.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. You know, we are what connect with, you know, who you are surrounded with. Uh,
Totally.
when you're talking about, you know, being healthy, it's not only your diet, you know, it's not only what you feed yourself into your mouth, but what you feed yourself into your mind as well, you know, what you watch, what you read, what you do on your free time, what you do on your work, and who you connect yourself with, you know, your community is a part of you, you know. So yeah, I'm 100% agree with you, Mika. Yeah.
Yeah, and mind is very powerful. What we feed our mind, we become. That's actually, yeah, that's very true.
What would your advice for someone who wants to pursue their dream but they're afraid of failure?
I think the biggest enemy for us is your you know, is your fear, you know. If you don't give yourself a shot to try, you're never gonna get this, right? It's hard to say because I think for me, it's something more natural. If I want to do something, I really will give myself that try, you know. I really want to, for example, I have been struggling my whole life to read a book, but I really want to. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to read a book, you know. So it's hard for me to stop, to stay there for a little while, you know. Like I said, I'm a very active guy. I like to things. Even if you fail, you know, you have to try. And it's not
Totally.
once, you know, you're gonna try over and over again. Like jiu-jitsu has taught me in life is you're gonna fall so many times, you know. You're gonna make so many mistakes in life. You're gonna make you know, so many wrong things. You're gonna choose wrong ways, but that's nothing bad in that, you know. It's always experience, you know. If you don't give yourself a try, you're never gonna get, you know. So if you really want to do something but you're afraid to failure, you know, I think you're already lost, you know. You have to try. At the try, give yourself a try. and don't compare yourself to somebody else. It's it's your journey. Your journey is different than mine. My journey is different than Mika and everybody else. We have our lives. So I think the biggest fear for everyone is because we used to compare ourselves, right? Let's mention, okay, I wanna do something live, but I'm to because you might already start to compare yourself with someone who already doing it, you know. But this person is on the path already. They're trying, they're doing it. So for you, you gotta try at first. If you don't get what you want now, be patient. Be patient. Look to yourself. Look to your heart. And if that you wanna do, you're just gonna keep doing it.
Totally. Makes sense.
So,
My dad
yeah.
always
And
says, like, don't compare and contrast with anyone but yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
like I could say, I yesterday at the end of the class. New year, same goal. We are here to be the best version of ourselves. And that's is our journey. We're not gonna want to be better than this guy. I want to be better than this guy here, than I was
totally.
yesterday, you know. So
That
if
makes
you don't
sense.
compare, I think that's the biggest mistake we do. And I do it well, and I have to remember myself when I'm doing it. I say, hey, calm down. It's me, not them. It's me. It's out of control. I can't control them. I can control myself. So look to yourself, compare yourself when I was, days before I doing it at all. Okay, I'm already doing it. I'm getting there. Give myself time, patience, and another try. Yes, it's our journey.
yeah, and it's really because it's very easy to compare ourselves to others, right? But one thing is that we should never compare our chapter 1 to someone's chapter 5 or chapter 20, because we may see them winning right now and maybe you're not yet winning, but the journey, they also endure a lot, suffer a
Yeah.
lot of losses, but then
Behind the
they could,
scenes.
yeah. And maybe that is their chapter 20, and this is just your chapter 1. So never really compare yourself to others. And the other thing is that a lot of us think that failure is the destination. It's either you fail or you win. But no, I think from what you're telling us is that failure is part of the journey. So you start, you try, you fail, but then you stand up again, you try again, and then the destination will always be winning. So that's what I am learning from our discussion.
Totally.
Yeah, completely. The winning in the end is waking up again and have another day of life and give yourself another opportunity. That's the
Yeah.
win right there.
Yeah,
The
the
win.
win is the product. The winning is the extra. The training
Yeah.
is like that's focus. Winning comes, but if you're not
Mm.
focused in the training is not. I know some people is like they don't care to train, but then they go to every single meet, right? And then they expect to, get a spot and succeed, right? But they get
Yeah.
destroyed because they weren't focused. The people that
Mhm.
aren't too excited for the meet, they show up late, whatever, they destroy because they've been focused at the
Mhm.
practice. Although it's not too good to show up late, but yeah,
They are
yeah,
focused in the process, right?
totally.
I think winners are focused on the process. That's the thing. And losers are focused on the man over there. At the end of the journey, they are like Mika has mentioned. You can compare yourself if you are in a one or even chapter 20, but somebody else is chapter 100, chapter 80. It's not even fair, right? We all are different. So it's not fair to compare yourself. We always do that, but you have to remember yourself. That's not the comparison when I do it. It's about yourself. So the win is waking up every day. Have another blessing in your life. Have another day to join. Enjoy the process. Do whatever you need to do. Go make your duties.
Totally.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, looking ahead, what are your goals for the future, both as an athlete and as a mentor?
Ooh.
Big question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my goal is like my big dream, right? Like I said already, I wanna my own academy to be able to help a lot of people through jiu-jitsu. That's what I really want to do. I can see I'm 39 years old, right? Now as athlete, getting a little bit harder for me to get the goals I would like to have. Yeah, I my big dream is to help people life, you know. I can see now so many guys. Life is getting crazy, you know. People with all the information we have, the technology we have, we are always looking up to somebody else's life, right? Oh, this is the life I dream for myself. Oh, I want to have this life. But you are looking to someone else's life, not to
Not
yourself, right?
yourselves.
So how are you gonna fix yourself? You cannot. So I think jiu-jitsu is really strong tool to help each other, you know, to help ourselves to improve and to get the best version of ourselves. So that's why I really think jiu-jitsu, and if I can have my place, will be able to help so many people, you know. Not saying, oh, they're gonna find out jiu-jitsu, they're gonna be a world champion. No, 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 talking about sports. We talk about, you know, self-development, you know,
Yeah.
the ego feelings, you know, deal with my fear, deal with my ego, deal with my disappointed, you know, deal with when you get hurt, you know, how you're gonna deal with that. So learn how to lose, you know, how to lose. You're gonna lose, but then you're gonna look to yourself in a best way and say, okay, I will healing, I will get better, and I'm gonna stand up and try over again. But different way, right? If I heard that way, better if I go this, you know. Now being 39 years old, still competing, you know, and I try to be. I'm already on top 10 on a black belt master one. That's my division, lightweight, and that's a good thing for me, you know, top 10 in the world. But I want to be for the next season going to the top five, top three. Who not? We always gonna dream.
I think you got it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I best.
but I mean, the sporting is the mind because everyone's doing for self defense, but you only need self defense if there's someone that's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
If everybody's focusing or trying to improve on their mental, spirit, body, mind, everything, right? Then there's less should be problem, you know? And no need even for you to do this self defense. So go.
Yeah, almost everybody has the opportunity, you know, to look to yourself. That's at the end, that's how jiu-jitsu help us. You have the opportunity, you know, you are doing 1 hour, 2 hour session. You have 1 hour, 2 hours opportunity to look to yourself and see how strong you can be, and at the same time how weak you can be, you know. Sometimes you find yourself so strong. You say, oh man, I did that move. Oh, I this guy is so big, man. I was able to beat the guy up. But at the same time, you see how vulnerable we are, you know? Sometimes you are doing so good in the middle of your match, you are, you know, getting good position, controlling your opponent, but then for a little mistake, they get you, you know? They ended up getting you. And then you say, man, how vulnerable we are, you know? And you start that even though when I'm winning, when I'm doing something good, I'm always gonna look up to myself like I'm not the best. There's so much more to learn, and I am like everybody else. You know, it's not because I'm going to training and maybe one of the higher belt in the room and I can beat almost everybody up. I'm not the best. You know, best in what? On my jujitsu skills, on my moves. That's not we care about it. We care about how is the best human being, you know? Who is the one here who will care about me if I really got hurt myself, you know? If I stay sick for year, you know, who is gonna call me and ask me how, you know, if I need help or what. So again, you know, we give ourselves when you are training the opportunity to learn about yourself, you know, see not only your good but your bad things, you know, and then once you know your bad things, you can try to fix them, you know, and then you become the better best version of yourself.
Yeah.
So, Professor Victor, this is something that we ask like a lot of people at the end of the discussion. So we learned a lot right now that you gave us a lot of lessons. But what is the most positive lesson that you can share to our audiences, that you can share to me and Zach? Like the most of the most.
The most of the most, the prime.
Yeah. Yeah, because we kept getting on a lot of positive lessons, but we want to know what's the most positive among them all.
Oh, that's how I see life, right? I think the most important and positive things is for you in life is always look to yourself in a good way, in a good way. We all make mistakes, we all make good things, we win, we lose, but you have to look to yourself in a good way because you are the only one who's gonna take care about yourself. At the end, that's only you and you. Whatever you do, if you are the big boss over there, or if you're not the boss at all, does not really matter. I think what really matters in life is how we treat people, how we
Totally.
take with your community, how you take care with the people you relationship with. So always being positive, right? Talking good things about yourself and trust on that. It's not only speak good things, but you're gonna start to trust every single word you mention for yourself, and for other people as well. The one you love, you're gonna tell them. It's very rare nowadays to see someone who goes, "Hey, mom, I love you," right? But we have, if you that feeling, you gotta say, no, you have to say. So we gotta be trust honest to yourself. I think that's the word. You gotta be honest to yourself. Do the things you trust. Do the things you know is good for you, for your heart, for your soul. And yeah, and yourself another shot to try.
Yeah.
Every single time. Yeah, we always gonna fail sometimes, but look to yourself again in a good way. And okay, I tried, I gave my best, but I will do it over again. I will do over and over again. Like I said, I have been talking every single class. A lot of times I had kids, for 5, 6 years old, because they look up to me like, oh, I'm the guy, right? And
Yeah.
I that, and I love to realize that. I say, what the difference between you guys, and I go to the white belts, the kids, the first beginners there, to me, to the black belt, right? Because they see me as the higher guy there, and they always look around. They does not know, and the question is easy. That's only one thing. I never give up. That's the only difference. I I have the same struggles as you guys. I have so many things going in life. I didn't mention that before, but I had my motorcycle accident, right? I broke 2 spines, and I was 20 years old, pretty young, my prime in jiu-jitsu. And the doctor saying me, you're not never gonna be able to do it. But again, look to yourself in a good way and give yourself another shot to try. So that's how, with time for sure, I give myself time to healing, to recover, and then I start working out, swimming in the pool to not get impact on my spines, to get myself stronger. So you find your way, not the excuse to give up. If you really want to do it something, you're really gonna find your way. So yes, and give yourself another shot to try and
De-
never give up.
definitely. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's all mental.
It is.
Exactly.
It is.
Anyway,
All right.
you go
All right.
ahead, Mela.
So, yeah, so we like end this discussion. Zach, can I ask you, what are your key takeaways? I mean, the lessons that you learned from this very discussion we had.
I would say probably the power of the mind is a
Mhm.
crucial topic that we went over, as well
Yeah.
as like ego and how where your morals should be, like how you should be positioned to be more, neutral, better, calm, but even more than that, more effective in accomplishing your goals and your to like achieve, your
Yeah.
what you see, right? But
Mhm.
besides that, right, spirituality wise, I think sports in general is something that's very beneficial and is something that a lot of people should do, right?
Mhm.
As a
Yeah.
baseline. And then even more than that, focus on your morals and it gets into your spirituality, you know. Sport is like a spirit kind of a thing, is what
Mm.
we've learned.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely very well said. Well, in my end, from the start, I'm gonna say that it's all about mental, how we think of ourselves. It's the mindset, right? If you think of winning and then you will win, and to have a very strong mindset. But after Professor Victor sharing the incident about the motorcycle thing, I think it's about standing up for yourself. Even though you fail 7 times, there's a saying, if I remember it right, like that you fall 7 times, but then you stand up 8 times, something like that. So it doesn't matter how many losses you had. It doesn't matter if you fail, but what matter is you pick up yourself, you stand up again, and then you continue life, because life is not gonna stop for you. So you need to keep fighting and to keep winning so you can achieve your goals.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Life is
Positive
hard.
Nation. You hear that, Positive Nation? That's right. Yeah, that is true. That was a good point that you
Yeah.
made. It's not all about like mental being tough and go, go, go. Because I've heard people say this. I've heard like I made significant changes in my life, right? And then I'd be like, oh, everything is going to be easy now. Like, oh, I wrestling, da, 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 is it all gonna be easy or something, right? I always think, oh, it's gonna be easy. It's not about like is part of it is ego, part of it is ignorance, but part of it is also like the what is I think is gonna become. I don't think is things stay hard. No matter what, things always stay difficult. Like nothing you do is like exempt you, right? Maybe
Mhm.
you like, oh, 2025 is my year. I'm gonna start being like a super guy, nice guy, and you start opening the door for everybody, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, do everything. There's still you're still gonna have bad things happen to you. There's still gonna be a day that everything goes wrong and everything's bad, you know. But you can't, back, you know, can't go back and
Yeah.
be like, oh
Like
yeah, this.
you were saying, it's getting easy. I think it's not getting easy. You get more prepared. You get yourself more prepared
Yeah.
because you always gonna have a hard day, right? Rather on the mats or in life, you always gonna have a hard day. So let's say I'm training hard. Let's use jiu-jitsu as example. Training hard every single day, doing my best. It's not gonna get easier because I know one day some tougher is gonna get into the room, is gonna give me a hard times, and or I not having a good night of sleep. I couldn't rest that well. My diet is not on point, or something's going on. Something besides my jiu-jitsu life is happening. Let's say, I hope not, but someone from your family is not doing well and push you a little bit down, and then it's not gonna be easy for you, even though you know how to do jiu-jitsu. You go on the mats and you're gonna try to go against someone. It's hard to be motivated every day. This is something kind of impossible, but you can work on that. It's always you have to look to yourself in a good way to to start, feel better and try over again. Okay, today, and accept that. At the same time, you have to accept, right? The first thing I is to overcome your challenge. You have to accept, first of all, see how you lost, and why did I lose? Oh, because enough excuse to yourself. That's very cool for us. We have that feeling, every single time we face some hard times, we kind of find excuse. Oh, that's happened because I did this, I didn't do that. Don't give excuse to yourself why you didn't do this or that. and then you go all the way through this. No, you just give yourself, okay, I'm not well prepared today for this, but this is not gonna affect my whole day, you know? I'm gonna start to wash your face, look to yourself in a good way, and okay, things gonna get better. Nice and deep breath, big glass of water, and go again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you so much, Professor. And one more thing is, I just want to commend you. When Zach and I were together and we are talking, I can definitely see how disciplined he is when it comes to training. So, yeah, you're a really good mentor and leader. Is that correct, Zach?
Yes. Thank you.
Very much appreciate you guys.
Goodbye to all the positive viewers. Thank you to all Positive Nation guys. I'll see you guys another one later. I'll see you. Thank you, Professor. I may see you on Saturday or Sunday. I'll see
Thank
you.
you, Zach. See you on the mat. Let's
Yeah.
go.
All right. Bye, Mela. I'll see you. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your morning, guys.
Hi everyone. Hi Positive Nation citizen. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this discussion is very fruitful. You're going to learn a lot from discipline, mindset, and everything connecting yourself to nature. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this to someone. And I hope everyone go enroll and contact Professor Victor.
Of course.
This video is sponsored by ZenGit, reaching over 1.5 million innovators. If you want to search something, you Google it. But if you want to get a project done, use ZenGit. At ZenGit, we're not just showcasing innovations. We're creating a platform where the brightest minds in STEM make their voices heard. Join us and be part of a growing community where innovation thrives and ideas take flight. Follow ZenGit today